Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Coercion creates a reaction that will eventually work against you. You must seduce others into wanting to move in your direction. A person you have seduced becomes your loyal pawn, and the way to seduce others is to operate on their individual psychologies and weaknesses. Soften up the resistant by working on their emotions, playing on what they hold dear and what they fear. After meeting Misa, Light quickly realized that the only way to get her to comply with his wishes was to make her believe that he loved her. To achieve this, he began by expressing appreciation for the effort she put into finding him, embracing her as a gesture of affection. He also used sweet talk, saying, "Look, sweetie, this is not a game. Both of us are risking our lives to change the world." However, Misa's repeated complaints frustrated Light, leading him to threaten her, saying, "I think you're forgetting I have both notebooks. If you don't obey me, I can easily eliminate you." Rem immediately intervened and threatened Light in response. Realizing that coercion would not work, Light reverted to his previous strategy of seduction. In their second meeting, Light promised Misa happiness and that he'll love her even more if she asked Rem to eliminate L. After Rem agreed, Light told Misa it was time for her to leave, but she refused, so he kissed her. He then repeated his demand, which Misa obeyed this time. Light used a similar seductive approach with Kiyomi Takada later on in the series. He began by saying, "Ever since we graduated, I wanted to talk to you again, but I never had the chance. After so much time our paths are about to cross again. Call me crazy, but I feel like this is fate." He then indirectly complimented her intelligence when she questioned him about his relationship with Misa, saying, "Well, to be honest, Misa's just not intelligent enough to be my partner." And after he revealed that he was Kira, he told her, "Please join me, Kiyomi, and you will be the goddess of the new world." This seductive approach worked perfectly, as Kiyomi said, "I can't believe it's you. You are the only man I ever really admired. To be honest, the only man I ever felt a connection with. And now, to find out you're Kira, it's incredible." Law 33. Discover your enemy's weakness. Everyone has a weakness, a gap in the castle wall. That weakness is usually an insecurity, an uncontrollable emotion or need. Either way, once found, it is a thumbscrew you can turn to your advantage. During their first meeting, Misa revealed a crucial piece of information about Shinigamis that Light was unaware of. She explained that if a Shinigami develops feelings for a human and saves them by writing someone else's name in the death note, the Shinigami will die. Moments later, Light threatened Misa. Rem immediately intervened, threatening Light in return. Rem explained that she had observed Misa from the Shinigami realm numerous times, and through certain events, she had developed feelings for her. Recognizing this as Rem's weakness, Light cleverly used this knowledge to his advantage in his plan to eliminate L. In a calculated move, he deliberately asked L, in Rem's presence, whether the police could legally convict and punish Kira if caught. L confirmed that they could, causing Rem to worry. She thought, "What are you thinking, Light Yagami? Making Misa right again. She'll be caught, and once that happens, you'll also be. So that's what your plan is. You're truly disgusting. Light Yagami is certain that I will do anything to help Misa and save her life. And at this point, the only way for me to save Misa is to write Ryozaki's real name in my notebook. Light Yagami has planned everything so that it will work out in his favor." Shortly after, L announced that he had made arrangements to test the 13-day rule, which Light had originally fabricated to prove his and Misa's innocence while they were detained. L confidently declared, "We're very close. If we work this out, the entire case will be solved." During this, Rem realized that she could not risk allowing L to live any longer. Determined to protect Misa, she sacrificed herself by writing L's name in the death note. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you. And Law 26. Keep your hands clean. You must seem a paragon of civility and efficiency. Your hands are never soiled by mistakes and nasty deeds. Maintain such a spotless appearance by using others as scapegoats and catspaws to disguise your involvement. Throughout most of the series, Light Yagami was under constant surveillance. In the beginning, he relied on clever tricks to write names while being monitored, such as hiding a camera and death note papers inside a bag of chips, as well as writing criminal names in advance. However, these methods were not sustainable in the long run. To maintain his facade of innocence, Light realized the only viable solution was to have others do the dirty work for him while keeping his own hands clean. Misa was the first person he started using and the one he relied on the most. However, she constantly required guidance due to her lack of intelligence and inability to act independently. Recognizing this limitation, Light sought someone who was intelligent, worships Kira, and understands his philosophy. He chose Teru Mikami and sent him a death note to carry out his will. Light also used Kiyomi Takada for a period of time to further his plans. Together, these three individuals allowed Light to avoid suspicion, ensuring that criminals continued to die regardless of whether he was being monitored or not. Law 15. Crush your enemy completely. All great leaders since Moses have known that a feared enemy must be crushed completely. More is lost through stopping halfway than through total annihilation. The enemy will recover and will seek revenge. Crush him. Throughout the series, Light never resorted to half measures when dealing with those who stood in his way. Instead, he aimed to completely eliminate them by writing their names in the Death Note. After meeting Misa, he thought, I'll arrange for her to meet L. She'll tell me his name and then I'll eliminate the entire task force. And when that's done, I'll eliminate her too. After all, she's the only person who knows Kira's true identity. I can't let her live much longer. After eliminating L, Light did not immediately get rid of the members of the task force as he had previously planned, realizing they were still useful to him. However, he wasted no time in eliminating others he had dealt with before, including L's criminal associates and the members of the Yotsuba group. Light planned to do the same thing if he succeeded to defeat Nier. Before their final meeting, he thought, looks like this is the end. No, more like the beginning. The perfect world of Kira. And those who know of the notebook's existence, all of them will die. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. The ending is everything. Plan all the way to it, taking into account all the possible consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune that might reverse your hard work and give the glory to others. One of the fundamental traits that distinguish highly intelligent individuals from others is that they think long-term rather than focusing solely on the short term. Light Yagami of course wouldn't have achieved his level of success as a strategist without his ability to plan all the way to the end. As shown in numerous occasions, he successfully deals with problems by thinking of all possible scenarios and preparing for everything in advance. Law 22. Use the surrender tactics. Transform weakness to power. When you are weaker, never fight for honor's sake, choose surrender instead. Surrender gives you time to recover, time to torment and irritate your conqueror, time to wait for his power to wane. Make surrender a tool of power. After L captured Misa, Light found himself in a dangerous situation since he became a lot more suspicious than before. Instead of trying to deny that he's Kira, he did the exact opposite. He used the surrender tactic. He acknowledged to L and the task force that, given the evidence, it was likely he could be Kira without realizing it. Light then requested to be confined alongside Misa. What L didn't know, however, was that Light has already arranged for someone else to receive the Death Note and continue writing names. This forced L to reconsider his conclusions. With criminals still being eliminated while Light and Misa were in custody, it became seemingly impossible for either of them to be Kira, effectively proving their innocence for the time being. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. The best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Your victims feel they are in control, but are actually your puppets. Give people options that come out in your favor whichever one they choose. After Mello obtained the Death Note, the task force was presented with an opportunity to retrieve it when they received intel about Mello's group's location. What they didn't know is that they're actually puppets being used by Light to retrieve the Death Note. He's the one who asked Misa to contact his father as Kira and provide him with Mello's group's whereabouts. As the task force discussed the option, they unknowingly fell right into Light's trap. Just as he had anticipated, they decided to act on the information and head to the location, completely unaware that Light was the one controlling the options. This allowed him to indirectly use the task force to retrieve the Death Note from Mello and eliminate his group without needing to involve himself directly. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. The moment of victory is often the moment of greatest peril. In the heat of victory, arrogance and overconfidence can push you past the goal you had aimed for. Do not allow success to go to your head. There is no substitute for strategy and careful planning. Set a goal, and when you reach it, stop. This is a law that Light didn't apply but went completely against, which cost him dearly. During the task force's raid on Mello's hideout, their primary objective was to retrieve the Death Note. After successfully accomplishing this goal, the team was ready to retreat. However, Light decided to go past the goal they had aimed for and try to apprehend Mello. He ordered the team, "Not yet. Keep going. We still haven't found anyone who resembles our picture of Mello. That means he must be hiding somewhere in the building. We've come this far. Let's finish this. Do a thorough search." This turned out to be a terrible mistake. When confronting Mello, Light's father was shot from the back. Despite wearing an armor, he didn't survive. Had Light stopped after retrieving the notebook, he wouldn't have lost his father. Instead, he let his arrogance misguide him. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, not their mercy or gratitude. If you need to turn to an ally for help, do not bother to remind him of your past assistance and good deeds. He will find a way to ignore you. Instead, uncover something in your request or in your alliance with him that will benefit him and emphasize it out of all proportion. He will respond enthusiastically when he sees something to be gained for himself. When Light discovered that surveillance cameras and wiretaps were installed in his house, he wanted to know their location and number. However, searching for the cameras himself would instantly raise suspicion. The only viable option was to enlist Ryuk's help. This was no easy task, as Ryuk had made it clear from the beginning that he wasn't an ally. In one of their earlier conversations, Ryuk bluntly stated, "Make no mistake, Light. I'm not on your side or L's side. I'm not here to support you. I'm just a spectator. I'm no ally of yours." So to get Ryuk to search for the cameras, Light didn't try to appeal to his mercy or gratitude, but his self-interest. He simply used Ryuk's addiction to apples to his advantage, telling him, if it's so important for you to eat apples, you'll have to find out where all the cameras are hidden. If you're lucky, you might find a blind spot where you can eat them without being seen.